All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash, double honors unto the apostles and the elders, great millstone, determined his truth and the sincere peace, blessings, and salutations to Yakim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this knowledge and truth and his sincerity. All right, it's the brother Barzal from the GMS Arizona camp, Lord Will, with another quick lesson to edify you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are the true children of Israel. All right. I was watching a video yesterday entitled "Fear Not," and it was by the brother Damasha Pot. Okay, the out of the Indianapolis camp out there where right now Elder Apostle Ariam Lab is, and he did a lesson called "Fear Not," and I was listening to it, and he made a profound statement because he was just going into how, he was going into death and how he doesn't fear death, right? And he was just saying, he was telling the story of when he, because he's a war veteran, so when he was serving in the military and you hear the bombs going off around you and the ground shaking, he was like, he don't give a fuck if you one of the hardest niggas from the craziest hood in LA or wherever the fuck, that it shakes you up to the core, and you get scared, man. All right, you get scared, and how you always had this fear of death hanging over your head, man. But he was like, you get to a point where it'll piss you off, because you pretty much get consumed by that fear of death to the point where it makes you mad, it makes you upset, it pisses you off. And he said he remembered the day he got to the point when he was like, fuck death, like fuck it. What does death really mean? What's the worst thing gonna happen? Like, I mean, I ain't gonna have to pay these bills no more. And I ain't gotta be ruled under, this devil no more. And he was referring to Esau Edom, the so-called white man, threatening and to put him to death. Because those are the times that we're coming into where it's going to be heavy persecution upon the believers of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So he was like, you ain't got to deal with all of this wickedness that's going on in this world. And, so on and so forth. He was giving these examples. So he was saying, when you get over that fear of death, all right, when you no longer have a fear of death, then this devil has nothing that he can use against you. See, because it's the fear of death that is going to allow him to control the minds of a lot of people, to influence the decisions of a lot of people going into these last days. They're going to make a decision based on trying to save their life. And it's rooted in fear. It's because they fear the fact that this devil can put them to death, that they're going to consent to whatever it is that he's pushing. That's what happened in the pandemic, right? People, when they did what he said, because they didn't want to get that thing, they didn't want to get that virus and potentially die. It was a fear-based thing. But when you don't fear death, when you understand death, then this devil has nothing that he can hold against you. And that's what the brother has said in the video, which, was a profound statement that really stood out to me. And so just in the spirit of that, I just want to grab a few precepts. This is Matthew 10 and 28. It says, and fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. All right. Right, because who is the only one that has the power over the soul? That's the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And him only. He's the one that constructed life as we know it and everything in it. We're living under his design. So the cycle of life, death and how everything works is the blueprint that came directly from the mind of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So it says, fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. All right. Because the so-called white man, even though he's going to threaten and try to force his way upon the believers, upon us, we're not to fear him, even though he can kill us. Even though he'll have, because we know that this devil's blessing is the sword, and he's going to use it, because Revelations 12:12 says that he's going to come down with great wrath. So he's going to have his sword in hand, meaning a modern day gun, and he's going to unleash it. He's going to unload it upon Jake. But we're still not to fear him. So reading on, it says, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. And how can the Lord destroy both your soul and your body in hell? Because we know hell is the grave. All right. And we know that another name for the Most High Yahweh is the Father of spirits. So what the Lord can do is, after you die, you go back before the judgment seat of the Heavenly Father. And then through reincarnation, which if you don't understand reincarnation, then you're not going to understand what I'm about to say. Through reincarnation, a few generations down the line, you'll come back to this planet Earth and you'll serve your punishment, whatever judgment that the Lord gave you. If you were living in sin during that time, you're going to come back in a new body and then serve that judgment. Okay. So you can get that in the book of Ecclesiastes, where it says, and I saw here, I'll get it real quick. Ecclesiastes 3:16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there. Under the sun is what? The earth. So this is where judgment is carried out. See? So it says, in the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. See, so after you're judged through reincarnation, you come back down to this planet Earth to serve that judgment. So the Lord can put you in a body. Okay? He can put you in a body that's all, decrepit. It could be deformed. You could be autistic. And that's literally hell, because you're a soul that's trapped within a body that's really not properly able to function. You could be, autistic. You could be blind. The Lord can really jack you up and make it so that you live a long, horrible life of pain and suffering. That's how he can really get you. But hey, this devil, he can't do shit that the Lord doesn't ordain him to do, that the Lord doesn't give him permission to do. So if you're one of the Lord's elect and he says that, hey, you're going to be protected, then that's what it's going to be. So the Lord controls all that. So we're to fear him, not the man that has the power to kill in this time, which is Esau Edom. And this is a good thing to remember going into these latter days, because we're going to be put in situations where, it's going to look like our life is on the line. And in order for us to remain faithful to Yahweh Shem Yahushai in those moments, during the hour of temptation, then we need to think upon these things. Because the beauty of it is, those that die in Yahweh Shai are going to rise first. So 1 Thessalonians 4:15, it says, for this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. It says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of the Most High. And the dead in Yahushua shall arise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together. Where are they going to be caught up together to? Into the chariots, into the so-called UFOs. That's the vehicle that the Lord is coming back in. A big, huge fathership. And he's going to be accompanied by angels in in ships, the smaller ships that are going to be gathering together the elect from the four winds, from the four corners of the earth. Okay, that's how this thing is going to end. That's how he's going to wrap up this show. And so those that have died in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai and for the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai are going to be caught up in the heavens with him, even before those that survived the time of Jacob's trouble. You see? So that's the reward for remaining faithful in that time. That's the reward for standing boldly for the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, even unto death. And this is the reason why we don't have to fear it. Because if we know we have been faithful and true to the Lord to the best of our ability, even in death, we win. You know, and that's the beauty of this whole thing. That's why you got to know who to fear. And when you don't have that fear of death, then this devil is ultimately powerless over you. He has nothing to threaten you with. He has nothing to threaten you with any longer when you no longer fear death. And that's the beautiful thing about it. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. A real quick hit. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai, double honors unto the apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught me this truth, and a sincere peace, blessings, and salutations to you hopeful elect out there, to you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Hey, we're in that time. It's high time to awake out of sleep. But don't fear this man. Okay, fear Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Shalom.